to tweak things. All right, let's begin the demo. Ooh, it's like one of those old-fashioned slide shows. Whoa. Whoa. That was kind of cool. I might have to adjust mouse sensitivity. We'll see. If you guys are starting to feel sick from the motion, let me know. I was gonna get a soft drink. Hi, MP. This is really cool looking. This plate says America, which is not very accurate because the license plates are done by state in the United States. That would have a state name. That says Louisiana Purchase. Louisiana Purchase. I wonder if that plate number is meaning anything or if it's just totally random. Stanley parable demonstration this way. I want to look at the plate some more. That's the same plate as that one over there. 69HZ27C. 69HZ27C. 489. That's interesting. You would never have two of the exact same plates on two different cars. They have to be unique to each car. Oh, recursive. So Magibu got me the full game, but I'm just doing the demo first, which I read is you want to play before you play the full game. It's separate from the game. Now this is kind of like a car garage for like an office setting. Like this is a crappy office chair that will give you back pain if you sit on it all day long. I know this well. I've had many crappy corporate jobs.
Welcome to the Stanley Parable demonstration. Your number is 28. When your number is displayed, please enter the demonstration room. Thank you, and have a pleasant demonstration.
All right, this is very corporate, bureaucratic. They've commoditized me. I'm just a number now. She's receptionist number 1. She doesn't even have a name. You know, not Judy Jones, but receptionist number 1. A bunch of numbers. The Royal 5th Annual Subcommittee Meeting, Internal Revenue Analysis for Committees of the Royal Revenue Discussions Club. No girls. What? The committee... I gotta find an angle in which to read that. Prepares the following. I wonder if there's a way to angle oneself. I can't jump. The only thing that appears to be working for me are the WASD keys. Hereby the following attendees agree to this statement. Yes, I'm slow because I want to explore my world. That's a very lush, wet leaf scene. It's really odd in this like sterile, gray toned world to see this painting. But I've actually been in offices, and maybe this is where the inspiration comes from, where you're like, no windows, cubicle farm, and then you see these beautiful paintings of outdoor scenes, and if anything, they depress you because you know that's what you're missing. But, okay, let's just keep going. What is that called? Keep dry. Oh, I see. Okay. Warning, do not stand on this side of fence. I wish I could jump. Oh, I can crouch. Hold on, let's look at key bindings. real quick. There is no jump key. You can duck, you can move forward, left, right, of course, knew that. You can use mouse 1 for machines and buttons, which I've been trying, you know, your left clicker. And you can take a screenshot with F5. Okay. Waiting room. Please wait for your number and then enter. Thank you. They're on 21 now, and I'm 28. $23. Somebody spilled some coffee. That clock actually is moving. It's 10 after 10. 24. 26. Indoors magazine. Here's a mug called Stanley Parable Demo. Everything's okay. Why from now on you don't have to worry ever. Page 31. Ducks. This month, ducks. 30. Oh shit, my number was already called. Okay. That's an odd little diagram. I think that's the building I'm in, but I'm not sure. Famous demos. What's with this wallpaper? You guys know, oh hi X and Fawful. I don't know any of these games. I'm not as visual of a person as Sub. I might have played them, but I don't recognize this one. So this is Gunpoint, you said? Don't know that one. This one looks familiar. This one right here actually looks like something I've played, but I don't know what it is. Metal Gear Solid. Okay, I've never played Metal Gear. So do you guys know any of these besides Metal Gear? Any of the other three, I should say? Third one is Half-Life. Oh, that's why it looks familiar. I played Half-Life very briefly. Very briefly. My roommate made it a miserable experience. And he just kept being a dick, so I stopped playing. I never could get into it. He ruined it for me. So, what about this? This looks so artistic. Turtle Fence the game. Okay, let's just move on. We don't need to talk about my ignorance of indie game posters. Kentucky Route Zero. No way, Eric. That's not Kentucky Route Zero. Okay, this very old-fashioned library here.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Stanley Parable live demonstration. It will be my pleasure to guide you through this sneak peek at what to expect in the Stanley Parable. A tease, just enough to leave you hungry for more. How exciting. Can't you just feel that nervous tension? The looming uncertainty? Why don't we drink in the anticipation for a moment, just for 20 minutes or so?
For real?
Please, for just 20 minutes, don't move or act in any way. Simply remain motionless and let the thrill of demoing the Stanley Parable wash over you.
Is he serious?
Oh, I get it. You're too anxious. You can barely hold still. Well, tell you what. I think we should walk off that nervous energy before getting the demo underway. Here, why don't I take you on a little tour of the facility and show you how we make a demonstration for a game like the Stanley Parable. This is where I and the other proctors have been working meticulously to construct a demo that explains clearly and concisely exactly what the Stanley Parable is, how it plays, and why you should spend real-world money on the main game. Video game demonstrations are tricky, and without the proper technology, you run the risk of the player having no idea what to expect in the full version.
I still have no idea what to expect in the full version. How's the volume on this game? Should I bump it up, bump it down? What are your thoughts on volume, guys? Is it good? I can easily be adjusted without much breakage to the flow of things. Very quickly in the options menu. Now it's... Wait, is that real time? Well, actually, it's not. It's 10:12, but according to that, it's like 10:17. So it's like 5 minutes ahead of my real time, the clock. I just noticed that, assuming that it's PM and not AM. My computer clock says it's 11:13. Oops, I can't tell time on an analog. Sorry, it's 11:14. So that's actually an hour and almost an hour back. All right, that's embarrassing. Let's move on. Pretend I never said anything. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Moving on. This is the Stanley Parable construction facility. The fourth is Kentucky Route Zero. That looks too ugly to be Kentucky Route Zero. That game's on my wish list, by the way. I'll play it. Compliments and demo status. Emotion booths. Final choice.
Ah, here is one such technology. These buttons are meant to convey the meaning of choice and the impact of the decisions you make. After all, choices carry tremendous meaning and consequence. Didn't you know that? Go ahead. Why don't you try picking one of these buttons to press, and we'll see what your choice says about you.
What? These buttons don't mean anything.
How fascinating. Did you know that 94% of all people who select that particular button are sexual predators?
What?
You see, our choices really do illuminate the very intangible nature of our minds and souls.
No, I didn't watch the Raphael trailer. I'm a sexual predator? Well, I'm in that 6%.
Okay, what else can I show you then? This place is the buffalo of game design. Nothing is wasted.
Even the testicles are used. Alright, we're getting a higher up in the management. Facility manager now. Alright, so I can go to wall technology, final choice, emotion booth, compliments, and demo status. Let's go emotion booth.
Now here's what we use to convey story. These booths convert text from a story into raw emotion. Go ahead, step into one of them and feel the sheer power of narrative exposition.
I can only choose discovery and despair. I'm going to go with discovery. I don't want to feel despair.
It was though, and within the shame he carried that ocean breeze did drift, the fierceness of the tides, the inevitable collapse of their kingdoms, washed ashore, bereft of shame, martyrs devoid of a cause, ripping and tearing at the eternal seams. A vessel without a captain, carrying itself like plastic in the wind, hinting at a purpose that was truer in some distant memory, if only it could decipher through time's veneer whose memory it wanted to be.
Let's step into the despair booth.
Where did these cliffs go? These crags that we stood upon, they shielded us from our own ignorance, spoke coddling words and wrapped our vulnerabilities in a woolen cloth that so many times I tried to set aflame. If I knew these comforts now, would their fibers be any more sensitive to the heat of my touch? Perhaps it was the cold I desired most of all. That empress to whom my flesh was always invisible. A hammock for the bones, waiting to be touched and to be known.
That was horrible.
Now, we have to save at least a few emotions for the full game.
Okay.
Oh, you went in both booths? Oh, how vulnerable of you. If at any point during the demo you need to cry, just let me know.
Hold on. I want to change my mouse sensitivity.
And we can take a minute.
Art. Isolation chamber. Oh, let's get some compliments.
One of the most important parts of administering any demonstration is pumping up your ego and appealing to insecurities about your sense of self-worth. That's why we use this room to develop cheap compliments to shower on the player during the demo. Go ahead and press that button to see some of the superficial flattery we've been cooking up.
I don't like that it's an upside down smiley face with like a box shape here. I'm dubious, but okay.
My heavens, I've never met someone who can consume as much uranium in a single sitting as you can. Just look at you go.
That seems sardonic.
Of all the people I know who are playing this exact demo at this exact moment and standing in this exact room, your performance is easily in the top 5,000.
These seem
Top
like
4,700 even. I won't go as far as 4,600.
these are undermining my sense of self-worth.
Let's see. Oh, this is embarrassing. I really can't think of anything else to say. No, you've really exhausted my list of compliments. Goodness, that was fast. Either you or this department has a lot of room for improvement. Okay then, what's next?
Obviously, it's your department. Obviously. Clearly, it's not me.
This device tells you whether or not you're inside a video game demonstration. Somewhere around here, there's also a device that tells you whether or not you're inside a device that tells you whether or not you're inside a video game demonstration. Are you that eager for the demo to start? Don't worry, we're almost there. Now, I think you'll find this exciting. We've actually developed a wall that you can walk through. Go ahead, give it a shot. Oh, guess it's still in development. Right, okay, moving along.
I need to increase mouse sensitivity again. I don't think it's good enough yet. 1 second here. Maybe I did it
How's
too
the
much.
anticipation? Still feeling it?
I did it too much. Sorry. Let's see. That seems just right. It's like the story of the 3 bears with my mouse. Just right. Do you like the Stanley Parable? Right now, the answer is no.
Ah, now this room is perhaps the most important you'll encounter in the demo. This is where we determine whether or not the demo has been effective. No! What are you doing? You can't make that decision yet. You haven't played the demo. We've put so much work into this demonstration. Wouldn't it be a shame if you rushed right into making a purchasing decision without savoring it first?
But I've made my mind up.
Let this one simmer. You'll have plenty of time to decide later.
But I want to say no. Damn it. Okay, fine. We'll see what else you got. Hopefully it'll change my mind since I have the full game yet to play.
And there you have it. Everything you need to know about how video game demos are made.
Not really. You've taught me nothing.
However, it's still important that we address safety concerns. Please closely observe the following possible negative side effects of playing the Stanley Parable. If you agree to be held 100% responsible for any and all injury or long-term damage, mental, physical, or otherwise, that may occur while playing the demo, please do not press the large red glowing disagree button at this time. Nothing? No objections?
Where's the disagree button?
Well, all right then. In the event that you do experience one or all of the previously listed symptoms, let's establish a signal for you to convey to me that you wish the demonstration to be terminated. Please step into the dance perimeter. Please perform a dance. Your dance has been recorded. In the event that you feel confused or disoriented by anything you see inside the demo, perform that dance and I will terminate the demo immediately. Right. All preparations have been made. It is time at last.
How am I supposed to dance when I'm disoriented?
For the Stanley Parable. Oh wait, what are we doing here?
Welcome to the Stanley Parable demonstration. Your number is 29. When your number is displayed, please enter the demonstration room. Thank you, and have a pleasant demonstration.
Okay, I'm lost. Let's just get back to the green room and start the demo again. I must have done something wrong the first time. Okay, here we go. The Stanley Parable demo, take 2. Finding the demo, learning exactly what the Stanley Parable is. Here it comes.
There we go. Somebody's messaging me, but I can't see their message. Oh well. Alright, Stanley Parable.
Oh wait, what's this?
Now, I don't really want to press this unknown button, but I guess I will.
Eight.
Wait. This is all wrong. This isn't the Stanley Parable. This is a game where you press a button and it says 8. Not only is the Stanley Parable not a game about continuously pressing the number 8, I can guarantee that this button does not appear anywhere in the main game. Why is it here instead of the demo for the Stanley Parable? Where did the demo go? There was an actual demo here
4 plus
before.
4.
Something has gone wrong.
2 times 4.
It's all gone horribly wrong. We
10
need to get
minus
you out
2.
of here before you start forming impressions of the Stanley Parable based
Square
on
root
whatever
of
the hell this
64.
8 game is. We need to get out. We need to start over. You mustn't stay here another minute.
7,
Out,
9.
Go.
Oh, I was having fun with the 8 game. Fine.
Imagine if this had been the demo. What would you have been thinking? You'd have left with no idea what the Stanley Parable is about. None whatsoever.
Alright. It won't open. Oh, there's no more bookshelves here. Oh wait, there's one on this side. $42.
Welcome to the Stanley
yes,
Parable
yes, we heard it all the first
demonstration.
time.
Your number is 30. When your number is displayed, please enter the demonstration room. Thank you, and have a pleasant demonstration.
Now, no time for exploration. We've got business to attend to.
Exit?
Okay, now let's take a minute to get something straight here. When you sit down to play this demo, you are assuming an amount of responsibility for its outcome. Now, I can't say for certain whether you caused us to encounter the 8 game rather than the Stanley Parable, but I think it's a pretty safe assumption that you had something to do with it.
I think
At
not.
this time, please take a minute to think about all of the mistakes you've made in playing this demonstration,
None.
as well as your lack of respect for demo taking in general.
That's true. I have nothing to think about.
Wonderful. I could really feel the introspection on my end. Now that we're all on the same page again, I feel ready to attempt the demonstration once more.
Sure
In
you
this
do. You're
third
incompetent.
attempt, we shall truly come to understand the meaning of the Stanley Parable. Let the demonstration begin.
Whoops. The end.
No, it can't be over yet. You didn't see anything. Everything that was supposed to demonstrate why the Stanley Parable is a quality experience worth your time and money. It was here somewhere, I'm sure of it. Oh, no. We have to get out of here. We have to find something for you to do, anything. The demo cannot end like this. Hurry, this way. Okay, yes. This is new. This is different. Surely there must be a game somewhere in here. Okay. Oh, how about this cup? Yes, go pick up the cup.
Lame.
All right, now put it, in the bin.
Lamer.
You did it! You won! You know what you get for winning? An achievement. Wow, the Stanley Parable just keeps getting better and better.
I got an
In
achievement
fact,
on Steam.
Let me take a little survey of
Called
your
Video
experience.
Games.
Based on what you've played so far, would you purchase the Stanley Parable?
I don't get it. What is this game? B, I
You
am
responded,
on
A
fire.
clear, straightforward demonstration of the merits of the Stanley Parable. I am convinced of the quality of the full game.
incredible. You really do get it. You understand.
I didn't pick
was
an
so
option.
worried. I just wanted you to know what I see in the Stanley Parable. What I think makes it, well, special. It's so very difficult to put into words. Oh, we're all beyond that now, aren't we? Come along. Let's get to the end and the final choice.
I bet you this is going to be one of those games that makes you see the futility of playing a game. It is, isn't it? Like Little Inferno, where it makes you feel bad about playing video games. I mean, that whole nonsense with the cup in the bin getting me a video games achievement. Me no like. As a hardcore gamer, it takes me to a dark place.
Ending, where are you? Where are you? Is this it? Yes, the end. Now, this is where we want the demo to be over. And I think it's time for you to log your final decision as to whether or not the Stanley Parable is any good. And it all comes to this. Please consider very carefully before answering. Much is at stake. Is it working? Are you sure? You sure you pressed the button? What? No, we finished the demo. Did it start again? Hello? Is anyone there? They already finished. They said they liked it. I need someone to stop the demo. Hello? We need to go back. We need to get out of here. Oh no, what's going on? Where is everyone? Okay, over to the left, down this way.
I wanted to see if I can go back to the motion booth.
Oh, nice and quiet. Finally. Well, I suppose we can both agree that I failed, haven't I?
Yes.
My job was to be a teacher, and I so badly wanted to teach you exactly what the Stanley Parable is supposed to be, but somehow I couldn't.
Hi, Notorious.
Well, at any rate, I don't know if I care for the Stanley Parable anymore. Do you think any of this is actually in the main game?
Hope not.
Honestly, I doubt it. What would that even look like? No, I think I've had enough of it. No more doors, no more demonstrations, no more endings. That's the other problem with this game. There's too many bloody endings. I'm sick of them. How can one game end so many times? Doesn't make sense. Oh, but back at the beginning of the demonstration, oh, that was lovely. No concerns about where it was all going. No confusion. Just a blank slate. Yes, that's what
Tabula rasa.
a game of beginnings. Hey, do you remember, just a few minutes ago, when we met for the first time, and I showed you the technology
Unfortunately.
used to make the demo, because I thought there actually was a demo. Oh, we were so naive back then, how little we knew of the world. And then when we ended up back in the waiting room, even though you'd already done that before, yes, it's all so fresh in my memory. They were such wonderful moments.
No.
Oh, and then when we played the game with the cup and you won, and then we kept wandering and we ended up in a stairwell somewhere and we just kept climbing.
That didn't
climbing,
happen.
Flight after flight after flight. I thought they would never end. And then we were on some kind of catwalk.
That's a
I didn't
Portal
have any
reference,
idea
isn't
what
it?
was down there. Did you? And we just kept going and we found that elevator and it said escape on it. We talked about it for a while, about how we couldn't possibly know whether this was really an escape, but that it seemed worth a try, and at the very least it would be an adventure. So we got inside and we rode the elevator up and up and up. We had some sense that the end was coming, but we couldn't possibly know when. And then after so long, it finally stopped, and we stepped out into the lush outdoors, the trees, the wildlife, the sun rising on a new and glorious path. Freedom. We were free.
That
There was
smacks
nothing
of Portal.
to think, nothing to know. Simply us being right there in that moment. Wasn't it so beautiful? Wasn't that moment so singularly, piercingly beautiful?
Okay, GLaDOS. Now shut up and get me out of here. Ah. have the full game. So I'm gonna load up next. I need to put on another pair of socks because my feet are cold. Okay, so that was the demo, which is a prequel to the game. It's different from the game, different content in the actual game. And next will actually be the Stanley Parable game. Well, I'll try it, but not on stream. I think you guys would be bored to death. Alright, hold on. I need to get socks. So I'm just putting on a second pair of socks. Well, okay, here's the dealio. Maybe at the end of the night when I have my talk time, I can, you know, for 20 minutes leave that running and see what happens, possibly? I don't know. I don't want to do it now, though. I want to actually play this game and see what it's all about. It seems like it's going to be somewhat introspective, philosophical. We'll see. Hi, DG. Well, I don't like to jump to conclusions until I've tried the game, but I did not really care for the demo. Didn't care for it, so it doesn't bode well, but it's the demo. It's not the game, so we'll see. I thought it was kind of boring, but I'm keeping an open mind. Alright, I think it remembered my mouse sensitivity settings. Hopefully the volume's okay. Oh!
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-lifting, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Wow.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, 1 second. I am going to update my stream title because I'm no longer playing the demo. I'm actually playing the game. Let me just take out the word demo. Alright, here we go. We are starting officially the Stanley Parable. I am some sort of cubicle monkey who has now had a disruption in my daily pattern. Maybe I'm Rain Man, I don't know yet. Stanley, just remember, Kmart sucks.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Time is 11:25. In the real world, it's 11:45 almost. But this is clearly AM.
No matter
it's
how
light
hard
out.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? I think it was X-Gen farted. It smells like Canadian bacon. Did I do that? I hate Mondays. Word. I like work. I just hate my boss. Smile, I bet that's a smile. Stanley is probably part of some sick social experiment. Be my Valentine. What an innocuous office environment. This is really soul-crushing, or soul-rending, as the narrator has described.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I don't care, I'm still gonna touch everything. Fuck you. I'm touching it all. I'm a toucher, okay? I like to touch. Aha! That did something. Stupid narrator, I proved you wrong. Sales in this quarter.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fuck you.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm a rebel. A rebel without a cause. I'm a lemon. Apparently, I'm in the 96% of sexual predators. We've established that.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Coffee nut. Oh yeah, I could go for some coffee. Yeah, I could go for that.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Ooh, paintings.
Really worth it.
I'm gonna sit here for a bit longer and see what he says.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Go ahead, keep insulting me, Mr. GLaDOS. I'm so self-confident.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
I've become combative with the narrator at this point. I've decided. Bash my head. I refuse to do what you say. What's this? Number one dad. Aw, somebody's a dad. Maybe I can get a cold drink out of this machine. Oh, there's a box of papers. That says fuel. Get it? Coffee is fuel. Fine. Jesus Christ.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
I don't know about that. We're not going to take that door. I become adversarial with the narrator. Mordecai forever! What's even in there? Let's just look. Just a bunch of drywall. We're going in here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. I like pickled pig hooves. Do not jump from the cargo while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, 1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, 5,000. What's in here? I don't have a slide key card.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah! I win! What? This is like Groundhog Day. What the fuck? Damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
How much
There's
is the game?
someone you've been
I don't know.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Liar! It's on Steam. Look up the Stanley Parable. I think he's making that shit up. There's no girl. There's no girl. He's playing with my emotions. He's manipulating me. Because he knows in video games, whenever you get to save the beautiful girl, you fall for that shit. I'm not falling for the damsel in distress bullshit. If she's worthy of me, she'll find a way to rescue herself. Let's go. Anyway.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Liar. Nope. I don't believe you. I'm not picking up the goddamn phone. Open the door. You manipulative windbag.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Yes.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he
I'm
finds
so happy
his
right
wife,
now.
and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
God damn it.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
What? Turtle fat. What? Oh, practice.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feelings should subside.
Dust.
At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Oh, God.
that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Well, I've already killed myself, so the fence is no biggie. Been there, done that. Let's see what else I can do that's bad. How can I fuck with the narrative?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
I am in the real world, Mr. Narrator. You're not in the real world. You're just a virtual program created to entertain me. I'm as real as it gets, baby. Warts and all.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Ooh, I've warped the world. It won't let me move forward. Sigh. Let's see what time it is. Ah, time is not moving very fast. Still 11:25-ish.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Good.
I have to.
Commit suicide.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
Good.
It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Grumpy Cat
What,
says
did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect.
Sounds like
I
Portal.
worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
Let's see how many
I'm
times
quite
I can
sure
do this
you'll be
before
up
I
to the
get bored.
task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
We're
Just
caught in
follow
the
my
loop.
lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I just stood there? Didn't enter any doors. Let's find another way to mess with the AI. Achievement unlocked. You can't jump. I tried to jump. I hit the space bar and I unlocked an achievement. I want to break the game. Ugh. Feels so good. I want to break it. Maybe I can do shit to this plant. Ugh. I know it's just gonna loop me if I go in the right door. You win, you stupid AI. You win. I'll find other ways to mess with you. Okay. Guess they were right about the 96% in the demo. Who would have thought? Tips for not getting fired. Ooh, X, you could
Yet
use
there was not a
this.
single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take out passive aggressively on other workers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a sleek blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all text. This will ensure a calm and productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Number of slides on this slide. Charts, slides, charts, and slides. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Charts, numbers, whatever. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Where is the projector? This makes no sense. There's no projector. Oh wait, it's up there. It's at the top. I see it now. The boss appreciation minute. On your boss. Oh, fuck. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined toward conflict, that's yourself is misspelled. Unless you're the kind of person who initiates. Ah, fuck. What are your dreams for the future? Mitosis, a boat, plant life, metamorphosis, spring break, clear skin, less air, comatose, travel, lunch, nature, pollution, hope, transcend, charts, talk radio. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception of promotion or expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. Well, I'm sorry, but you can't return me. I don't come with a receipt. I want to read all the slides. There's a really long one with a typo that I want to read. Monetize, free to play, synergize, core value expenditures, shift global market paradigm. I'm assuming that's paradigm underneath the paper. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your Boss Appreciation Specialist. If you ever find yourself in conflict, unless you're the kind of person who initiates conflict, why did we hire you? Remember that it takes two people to start a fight, and right now you're both of them. Okay, let's go. Broom closet. Oh, I remember this from the demo.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What can I do? What can I do? Can I do something where I don't walk upstairs? How can I be subversive? That's wrong. I'm clearly worth much more than that. It's obviously a fake, cheap replica. It's missing a few zeros. And by a few, I mean like, I don't know, a bajillion. I don't know how the game is. I can't really tell you. It's weird. Can I do something with this valve here? Must think of ways to be subversive. Break the game. Break the game. Red rum. Red rum. Must break it. Must do something terrible to this narrator. That's my main imperative. What's this? Business time.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What the
Shocked,
fuck?
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Okay, I now understand why this game has been banned in China. Yes, I was waiting for the narrator to finish talking to say that.
The code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I am the
Sorry,
most
is there a
expensive
problem?
boss.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise,
No.
we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I don't care. Take your step and shove it. Shove your step. Is that a border collie?
Fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect
Sewage
Stanley shows
lilies.
for his choices. He
By
knows
Cloud
what it
Money.
means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
I hit
When
enter.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Omniscient point of view.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So...
Have you ever seen this ending before?
Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the test.
I've got the blood of revolutionaries flowing through me.
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Fight tenaciously, compelled to relinquish the narrative. Yay! Alright, let's see. I'm gonna put this on my YouTube then if nobody's ever done this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, let's do the opposite. Well, I'll put it on YouTube, guys. I'll try to get up tonight or tomorrow. The ending that I got. Apparently, I was extra subversive, and I broke the narrator. And I do feel a smidgen guilty.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's do it the exact way the narrator wants this time. We are going to be the narrator's bitch. We're going to be a model employee.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Every bone in my body is saying, walk down the fucking steps. Why? Why did you let me do that game? Why? Fine, we're gonna go up. Model citizen. Model employee. Model gamer. Executive bathroom. That didn't have the sign there on my last ending. The office looks different.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So we're doing 2 extremes. The last game I was completely subversive and I didn't do anything he asked me. I unplugged the phone. I broke the narrator. This game I'm going to be a model player. Everything he asks I will do. He says jump, I'll say how high.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope, I'm not going to escape. The narrator is not telling me to do anything, so I'll just press the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
All the employee
Each bore
numbers.
the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
In the days of the NSA, I'm unfazed.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. Let's figure out how to dismantle the mind control machine. I assume facility power might be the place to go. But we might want to look up there too. There's a shiny button up there. Actually, there's multiple shiny buttons. We will see about this machine. That's the button 4. Because I know you guys have problems with the numbers. Talking to you, X. Now, we're going into the power facility to dismantle the machine. But not before hitting 5. Night night, sleep tight. Bonsoir.
And when at last he
ami.
found the source of the room's power, He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
All right, let's do it. Yay! We're good. We do as we're told. Ironically, he told us to turn off the mind control machine, so we did it.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
See?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That looks like a screen, but okay.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of
I've
the
lost
new
control of
path
Stanley.
before him. This was exactly the way, right now,
What are you
that
doing with your
things were meant to happen.
Gesticulating.
And Stanley was happy.
For added dramatic effect. Jazz hands! Achievement unlocked. Beat the game. I beat the game! First I beat the narrator, then I beat the game. Alright, so we've seen the two extremes. Subversion and subjugation.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now we're going to unplug the phone. No, actually no, we're going to get to the part where you can unplug the phone. But we're going to pick it up.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors. This was not the correct way to
Instead
the
of
meeting room,
unplugging it,
and
we'll just
Stanley knew it
simply
perfectly
pick up
well.
the handle
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
talk
lounge
to our
first, just to admire
femme
it.
fatale.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
This is the break room. This is where you have a chance to think and be unhappy. When you're in an office.
Really, really worth it being here in the room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Sure.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
You can unplug it, but I already did that. So instead, we're picking up the phone. And it's Shell. No, just kidding. This isn't Portal. I wish it was Shell on the other
Stanley,
end.
is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Ooh,
All right.
fresh bread.
Okay, there we go.
Empty.
All right, now,
Fresh bread.
I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Whoa.
Gotcha.
You
come
fucker.
on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to
I
you?
told you he was lying.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
What? You fucking sucko.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Good morning, employee 427. Press 1 on your keyboard. What?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press R. I'm not going to press R. I'm going to pout. I'm going to press T. Everything but R.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I accidentally
Now
pressed
he's
R.
pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
This is too existential for me. How many of you actually have a cubicle job where you do some mindless thing all day long? Because if you do, I feel sorry for you. This game is probably taking you to a dark place. Aw, Moroccan. I feel for you, buddy. I feel for you.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Oh my god, Shadow.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Okay.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
It's the Matrix! Holy shit!
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press 7 to be able to work in the morning. Okay? Let's not do it. Let's press 8. 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is now 5:33. 5:32. I wonder how long I can stay here not pushing a button. At which point will the game just say, oh, you did it, congrats, you didn't push the button. So what do you guys want to talk about while we try this out, this theory of not pushing the 7? I'm conflicted because the screen is telling me to push the 7, the narrator is telling me not to. My subversive nature doesn't know what to do. Does not compute. Hi, Cyphus. That's a very big word for you, isn't it? No, just kidding. Well, we'll see how long it takes. There's actual real time on this clock, and it's moving forward. But it's not synced with my clock. I've determined that.
And time?
No. You guys want to see my corgi while we wait this out and see if the narrator says something? Come here. Come here. Come on. Let me whore you out to my viewers. Yes. Come get whored out. Come here. I present to you Corgi. This is Crumpet. For those of you that do not know. Bitch, everyone knows me. Yes, 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 you're famous. Crumpet has a bit of an ego. She believes her poop smells like bacon. That's why she's always sniffing it. Crumpet, would you like to press the 7 for mommy? Would you like to press the 7 on my keyboard? Oh, come here, Corpse. You're on my mouse pad. You know you can't lay on that. There you go. It's a she. And according to the vet, she's just right. 28 pounds of corgi lovin'. Yeah, 28 pounds of corgi lovin'. 28 pounds of corgi lovin'. La 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 la. Okay. I don't know how long I'm expected to wait at not pressing that 7. Is there an achievement for waiting at not pressing the 7? I don't really know. But I'm going to give it another, let's see. Let's give it another minute. One more minute of waiting, and then I'm going to press the 7. One more minute. It's very convenient that they give you a little clock here so you can wait while you not press the 7. Yeah. I could pet you now. You get your furry butt petted. Alright, got 15 seconds starting now. Come on. If nothing happens, I'm hitting the 7. 3, 2, 1.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press V to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
5 years!
I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
This is the very dark ending. Alright, so we've done the ending where we end up in third-person narrative, beating the system. We've done the ending where we get freed. And we've done the ending of hopelessness, where we just keep pushing buttons.
Stanley decided to go
death.
to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now I'm going to go down the stairs.
Yet there was
Option
not a single
arises.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find it. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh,
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
yeah, why is there?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Uh-oh.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
The corgi snout on his neck.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
Okay.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Damn it!
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Poor Stanley.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So let's see. That, I would say, is the my character goes insane ending.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Now we're gonna go to the boss's
When
office.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
But we're gonna take the escape instead of going into the mind control room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, there it is. We're gonna try all the permutations.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I'm actually thinking of not inputting the 2845 for a bit. See what happens. Let's not input it.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
I'm gonna annoy the narrator again. Gonna annoy the narrator.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I annoyed the narrator. That feels good. We have a special kind of relationship. I am going to try to input the wrong code the next time. That is on one of my to-do lists in my head.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Well, let's meet our violent death.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Violent death, here I come.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Woo! YOLO! YOLO, 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 YOLO! YOLO!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
YOLO, YOLO, YOLO!
Signed and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow
YOLO!
life. Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Hey, he didn't suffer. The last storyline, I went crazy. I lost my mind. This was a clean ending. Instant death. Well, I'm not dead.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What's over here? And we have to explore every nook of this dark room on the off chance that there is a hidden secret. Former Zelda player here. Alright, here we go. We're going into this sanitized white room. It's heaven. We're in heaven.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Predetermined destiny. OMG. Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. There's your office. La la la. La la la. The corridor. The pacing of the opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. There's your two doors. This is a museum of the game. The two doors. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. And hello, Super Mega Monster. Superfluous. The Office. 001, 002, 003, and so on. Okay, let's look at all the exhibits here. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. I recognize that last sound, Portal. Okay. Filing cabinets. That was the most interesting exhibit, I would have to say. Office computers. That one had solitaire. I just clicked on it. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I clicked it too fast. Installation. Oh, there we go. You guys remember the solitaire? What was this? Windows 95 or older? Employee database. Loading. Employee database loaded. Please enter your command. The current time is internal clock error. Please reset. These computers have openings for floppy disks. Look at that. These are some seriously old computers. Maybe that's Windows 3.1. You think that's what it is? 3.1. Wow. You must be like 40 Moroccan to know that. Just kidding. Just kidding. You're young as you want to be. Stanley Parable credits. Written and designed by Davey Redden and William Pugh. Additional level design. Colin Eddings and Jack Parsons. Programming. Jesus Higueras. Sound design, Robin Arnott, or Arnaud, I'm not sure how he pronounces his name, or she, it's a gender-neutral name, and Eduardo Ortiz. And the impeccable Kevin Brighting as the narrator. Kevin, why do you spell your name as Kevan and not In? Is it to annoy us? Original music, Ioannis Ioannidis. Wow, that is a serious Greek name. Blake Robinson. Christian Baker. Christian, why is your name spelled like that? Why? Additional voice work. Leslie Staples, Aviva Pinchas, Jenny Kuglin. Original artwork. Simon Boxer, Mika Lati. Steam support. Jason Ruiman, Cassidy Gerber, Mike Dunkel, and Peter Wyckoff. Model design. Oh, this looks like a good Scandinavian name. I'm going to butcher now for Eric. Andreas Jorgensen. Animation, Ry Soderbergh, Maxime Lebled. Stanley character skin, Taggart and Dean Darko. Wow, Taggart is like J-Lo, you know, he's so famous, he has a one-name name. Her surname is unimportant. If you know not Taggart, you have lived under a rock for the last 30 years. Additional music, Siddhartha Barnhorn, Kevin MacLeod. Webmaster, Shane Sweeney. Made using source by Valve. Okay. Let's take a look at the room on the left. The office. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. This is a copy machine, as you can see, for cubicles 431 through 436. The point of Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. The point of Stanley Parable HD Remix is to lose. These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Remix. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Larger, words, text. If someone could just get rid of this text, baby, blah, blah, blah. These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. Warzone. Alien base. Awesome. This looks like a room from Tron. Let's see what this says. Early in development, we decided an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. On the nose. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. I don't mind. You can make fun of people who like shooters. I'm okay with my love of all gaming. Greenlight. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. So these were the photos that got the game greenlighted. So it appears that we've entered some sort of level that explains the making, the design, the history behind the game, some of the thoughts from these people who made the game. This is kind of cool. This is a game level about the game. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. From Sivula, subject final warning. There is a skeleton inside of you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye, Siv. From Alex Opificus. I need life advice. Will playing the Stanley Parable help me make friends? I don't have any friends. Saul I. Terry. From Otto Tampio. Question. Are you a rock? From Montgomery Jones. The lights. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. Montgomery Jones. From New Result. Wow, congratulations. Wow, congratulations. Blah, blah, blah. In line with our previous announcement regarding the ongoing promotion, here's the result in an attached file. Open it carefully and see the full details of the result. From Dink Dunk. Gay. Are you gay? Dink Dunk, you forgot your question mark. From Antonu Elias. I am Elias Business Broker. Please partner with me in very rewarding business venture. Not spam. Regards, Anthony. Boris Gaines, dear narrator, will the Stanley Parable have infinite quests and how many endings? If the Stanley Parable is really going to let me go shopping, I hope it will have a fine selection of desert boots. Cameron. From Marius, a question brought forth by the intense passion of my soul. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I donate something. Why? Lance Perkins, I have burning questions. For instance, on a scale of Max Ernst to Salvador Dali, how surreal will the game be? Were you born with a magnificent voice, or did you bargain with the devil? From Pixel Sith, dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Sincerely, Michael the Rock Martin. I don't know how many of these I can keep reading before my brain turns to jelly. From James Irving, how is the games? How is the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. I really think this is making fun of people who post to forums about games or, you know, make comments about games. How do you type with boxing gloves on? How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? From Michael M. Sir J. Medvedko. Well, the thing I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? That what should have been capitalized. Will the game feature capybaras? Okay. Dear narrator, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and standalone title. I appreciate the credit. Blah, 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 blah. I would like to know, however, some ideas of how it will be censored, in what manner, and perhaps most importantly when. If you could elaborate upon the answers, blah, blah, blah. What is Stanley's last name? All right, we've seen this one before from Lance Perkins. Whoa! This is like a spam. I never get these interesting spams, you know? My spams are always something like, are you old and lonely? We've got a dating site for you. Are you fat and ugly? We've got something that can help you. Hi, Mr. Narrator Guy. What is your message for today? Harris, sent from my iPad. You could tell me what the significance of the number 1112800 is. 11, 12, 800. Mrs. Dr. and Mrs. Mercy Hartemink. Okay. I think I've seen all these. Let's move on. The Lounge, an early version of The Lounge. The Office. The Apartment Timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted an option of the player falling to their death. I know this option. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Yeah, I see that now. I did not know this. I am not a Civ 5 or Mafia 2 player, but I could add them to my library just because it's free. Is there anything special one needs to do? Maybe you can tell my viewers. Meeting room. And I assume by GMG you mean Green Man Gaming, is that correct? greenmangaming.com is the website. One option. Number 1, a door to maintenance in the lounge. Number 2, 2 options. The other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. Number 3, 1 option, 1 door to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. Disobey, obey. Ah. Number 4, vent. How about this? Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. So we're not doing the vent, we're just doing, so they're just allowing you to obey, disobey with the lounge. I see that. The game is now paused. Begin the game, resume the game options. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Here is the Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and emerged with another part of the game. So you can see the blue, the orange, the red buttons. This is very much a Portal-like room. And there's the white goo from Portal 2. I wonder if the effects are speed up and bounce. I got a lot of dog hair in my mouth for some fucking reason. Crumpet. I don't need that much protein in my diet, damn it. Okay, Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color lever they had pulled. Oh God. Okay. I'm experiencing grossness right now. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay, here we go. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. Oh, I haven't watched those trailers. Eric linked me the YouTube page for the teaser trailers. I'm gonna, Eric, would you mind putting that link in chat? If you're not awake, I can put it myself, or if somebody has the link to the YouTube page for the Stanley Parable, I would appreciate it if you could link it into my chat. This is the first one, released in May 2012. Oh, we'll just watch them here too, I guess. I like the color in that. I like the orange and yellow. Very pleasant. Maybe Eric is asleep. I think this is just looping, but I'm not 100% yet. Oh no, that's new. That's new. Now it's pink. Fire! So this is the first Stanley Parable trailer, teaser trailer, May 2012. Somebody got the YouTube link? Am I really going to have to do it? It's the YouTube page for Stanley Parable with all the trailers. I want to put the link up in just a moment, I guess. If nobody has it, I'll do it. I just subscribed to them. That said the Stanley Parable in broken letters. What a Crumpet, don't lick my hand. Don't lick my hand. Your breath smells like dead rats. How dare you lick my hand. Oh, sorry. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. So we're not hearing the voice of the narrator in this trailer. So you... Yes, that's the channel. This is the story of. That's correct. That is the link. Thank you, Snow. That is where you guys want to go to see the trailers with audio. Alright, we'll look around in this room. What is this? Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down. The freedom above and countdown below. With freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this idea when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the two endings together instead. Oh. Apparently we're kind of dumb as players, huh? Countdown room. An early version of the countdown room. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. I did that ending already. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. I've never done the countdown ending. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. This got him the job. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. So, November 2011, March 2012. It looks like they made the office bigger, more filing cabinets. February 2013. This looks more like an office. It looks like it's been in use. I'll have to watch the trailers, guys. I'll find a way to link them to one of my YouTube videos when I post this on YouTube. It'll probably be in the about. What's over here? Freedom ending. The very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. People like trees and grass. I noticed that. We associate the outdoors with freedom. Office clock. I wonder, is that real time right now? No. It's 1:15 a.m. in my time zone. Oh, I like this blue light. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. I like this one. It's very prison. This one is very Minecraft. This one makes me think of a parlor in an old-fashioned home. Employee lounge. Mind control facility. Underground. An early version of the underground portion of the game.
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively. You have the most fundamental.
Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game throughout 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that weren't used in the final game. Let's see if we can get it to go again. Damn it. They're not very loud. Well, that's okay. If you're hearing a smacking kind of noise, that's my dog cleaning her paws on my desk. Can you hear that? Crumpet, come on. I moved the mic and she stopped, damn it. Ah, Crumpet. You disappoint me. She likes to keep her paws clean. Now I've been in there. Let's see what I've missed. Been in there. Been in there. That's the exit. Trying to see if I missed anything. Well, let's just go to the exit then. I think I've seen it all. I've seen everything. We must exit. The time has come.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
I choose apathy. Sure. Is it a Steam Gifts post? That's fine. I trust Steam Gifts. Well, this is new. This is the total black screen of death ending. As you can see, I can't do anything. I just got a total black screen. You know what would have been extra evil if they made that screen blue? That would have been extra evil. I know it's telling me to restart, but I just wanted to see if something else would happen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where did everybody go? Who's gonna make you bacon? Crumpet doesn't know. Crumpet's confused. Whose butt are you gonna sniff? Oh, it's a crazy world, isn't it, Crumps? It's a crazy world. Yeah. Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hi, Goldberg. My dog's having an existential dilemma because of this game. Damn it, Crumpet. Why? Why? It's okay. Don't cry. It's okay. It's okay. Everything will be fine. Everything will be okay. What happens if I try to close the doors? No? All right. We have a couple of options. I can unplug the phone again. I can do as told and turn around after I go into the tunnel and not kill myself. I can hit escape before I die in the tunnel. God, so many different permutations. What shall we do? Ah, let's try to enter a different code in the boss's office. That sounds good. We'll mess around with some codes. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We're gonna mess around with some codes. Yeah. Pump it up for it. Yeah, pump it up for it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I can get into the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Holy shnikes.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Yes, there is. It's something new.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm gonna
You
sit
do
in this broom
realize there's
closet.
no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
What kind of game is this? This is kind of a meta game.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I want the broom closet ending, now that I know that that could be a potential
Stanley
ending.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Nice try, narrator.
Well,
Nice
I've come
try.
to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
Crumpet, I'm dead.
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species.
Who's gonna walk
Please
you?
remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
How did he know I'm playing a computer game? He thinks I'm Stanley. This is not logical. We've died, Crumps, and gone to heaven. We're in heaven right now. We're streaming from heaven. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus?
How about a corgi?
You can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll
Crumpet,
just be
you wanna
waiting
play?
for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay. Does it have treats? No. Then fuck no, bitch.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sounds like somebody needs to get laid tonight, not me. I've already done that, guys, but I will do it again.
The moment
Downstairs
he
is the
entered his
insanity
manager's
ending.
office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do.
Let's try
instead.
1337, leet. We're elite. Oh, come on! Okay, we're gonna do the immature option from Baba J.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to
8,
input
0,
anything on the device was
0,
useless,
8.
since he could never possibly know that the
Let's do all
combination
zeros.
was 2845.
Let's do 4321.
Two, 8, 4,
Hold on, Crumpet.
5.
I did 8 on the keypad.
8.
Achievement unlocked. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened
Okay,
all
Crumpet, get
by
down.
itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the
Say
story.
bye-bye.
Well,
Bye-bye.
what did he do?
Okay. Freedom from a heavy dog in my lap. Oh yeah. I'm covered in a butt ton of dog hair. Huh? What? Crumpet. You covered me in so much dog hair. So much. And now you're gruffing? Half of it got in my mouth, I swear. Crumpet! 1 second. Look what I found. On my roommate's desk, no less. I'm gonna eat his nerds. Crumpet. You had your pet time, damn it. I gotta go in the elevator. I wonder if there's some alternative thing I can do here. Grumpet, it's bedtime. Grumpet, it's bedtime. Bedtime. Show mommy bedtime. Yes, it's Grumpet's bedtime. See, supposedly there was an up option, but people were too confused by it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, I've seen the happy ending. Let's go to the YOLO ending, but escape before we can be
Although this
killed.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
We could turn around in just a moment.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I was just kidding, these aren't my roommates, nerds.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I decided to add a little drama to this stream. Maybe there is, and you just haven't found it, Mad Dog. Maybe there is a zombie apocalypse ending. You know, I wonder if there's like a vent shaft in here. This is such a long hallway. It seems to go on forever.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
Hi, Super.
Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh my god, I gotta read this comment from Goldberg. If I was your roommate, mate, and found out that you did that, I'd turn your computer on and go to Paint and type, "You owe me big time," and save that, then set it as your background. I paid $1 for these at Menards. This is a Chicago area hardware store. So I guess if these were his, I would owe him $1. Sugary goodness.
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
This is where the NSA reads your emails and watches you shower and poop.
This mind-control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, if they were listening to my shower, they'd be all deaf now. What if I press this again? What if I went back? I don't want to go down there. I want to go back. Back where my innocence was. Let us leave. Crumpet. It's bedtime. It's Crumpet's bedtime. It's your bedtime, Crumpet. And also some candy. Ready? Never give up on your dreams, people. Never. I'm never gonna give you up. Woohoo! Never gonna give you up. Oh yeah. Okay, come on, join in. Come here, Thomas. Stand up. Come here. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's